Hello, you guys. Thank you for joining in with me today. I feel like it's forever since I've been on here and giving you your real estate market update. If this is the first time you are meeting and joining me, my name is Andrea Wilson. I'm a real estate broker here in the Cleveland market at no other than Brick House Realty. I'm super excited to be here and joining you guys today to share this information. The housing market is crazy. It's off the hook. So much is going on and so many questions out there. So I want to make sure that I get back on here on a regular basis, kind of update you because the market is moving so fast. So let's get right into it. All right, so thank you for joining in with me today. I just wanted to jump on and give you your real estate market update. There's a lot going on in the marketplace. It's so busy. I'm working with clients. They're frustrated. Buyers can't find a good home. Sorry, I'm just trying to share this. But buyers are having a hard time finding a home. Sellers are concerned about selling a home. They like the idea that the market has increased and that they're potentially able to get more money from it. But what makes them scared is where they're going to move to. So I definitely understand where they're coming from. So I want to talk about that a little bit today. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I have the PowerPoint to kind of go over guys. So number one thing here, I have some numbers and some stats that I want to share with you guys. So we're looking at Cuyahoga County for the month of May. We're just getting into the month of June. And so we're just going to look at the final May numbers and where they came in at 2022. So the number of home sales were at 1,887. This is very low. When I look back a year ago from May 2021, the numbers were dramatically different in there. We did see an increase in the average home sale price for Cuyahoga County. We're up to $246,000 here. Number of new listings were at 2,451. That's how many listings that we took on in the month of May. The average days on market is 30. We did see that come down. So this is not to say that there's not properties that's selling in 24 hours where they're going under contracts or within 3 days. The average, when we look in total of the number of homes that are on the market, we're seeing that the average days on market is about 30 days. So the big question is now a good time to buy and invest? If you've been watching the news, if you've been following me, you may have heard that interest rates have started to increase in the marketplace. And this is true. And all of the economists, the news, and every channel where you go to look, they are expecting for those interest rates to continue to rise. No difference than when you're at the gas pump these days, you're noticing that gas prices are starting to increase. This is coming across the board in every sector. We're seeing that the market is shifting, things are changing. They're saying that we're actually in the beginning phases of a recession. So, is it a good time for you to buy and invest? Everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. You want to understand where you're at in the process. Determining if it is a good time to buy means a couple things. Number one, some of you may need a larger house size, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, whatever, three bathrooms. And so what you can get your pre-approval for in today's market can you afford to buy, right? Can you afford to buy in that neighborhood that you want to purchase? So that's going to be a deciding factor. What is that monthly payment? We're noticing that families are actually who were planning to go conventional are actually falling back and going with the FHA loan. Um, Whereas we saw some people will kind of frown upon an FHA loan because of the stigma that comes around with that. So they wanted to present themselves the best way possible, and that was going with a conventional loan because it's the perception that if you go on conventional, you have a better credit score, and not everyone could go FHA. But at any rate, we're seeing that buyers are starting to who can go conventional are starting to fall back and go FHA because it will allow them to qualify for a higher loan amount. So, if you are thinking about buying, you want to make sure that you're exploring all options. It's important that you talk to someone who's going to guide you and give you truthful information. If someone is saying, well, you should only go conventional, you may need a second opinion to talk to someone else who could potentially have you go FHA because they can get you qualified and approved for a higher dollar amount on your loan. That's important for you in today's market because it can get you more home, and especially if you're looking for a larger home in there. So you're focusing on monthly payment, not so much the interest rate. Interest rate's important, but remember down the line when interest rates start to come back down, you can always refinance. But can you afford that monthly payment? And what you're getting that monthly payment for, is it the size house that you're looking for and the right area that you're looking for? The next thing that I want to remind you of if you're thinking about buying a home, that it's important to have savings. You want to make sure that you have enough money in savings and reserves in this market. Last week, I spent time, I listened to an economist, and they're saying that although we believe the perception is that nobody wants to work, there's all these jobs there. They're saying that the jobs are in the hospitality sector. It's in when you go out to restaurants, we're seeing that. So that's where the jobs are. All of the major corporation, they are preparing for a recession. They are cutting costs. They are laying people off. So the worst thing that can happen is that you secure a home and you're proceeding and moving forward as if everything is good in the marketplace, and then your job happens to lay you off. It's important to have savings in the bank so that when something happens, another COVID, right? People were out of work. When something happens, you are prepared to handle what's to come, and you have that savings in place for that. So, is now a time to buy, invest? It depends. I know I was talking about homeowners. If you're an investor, not so much a good time to do fix and flips right now. Not saying that you can't happen to find a good fix and flip property in the marketplace. You're probably going to find those deals off market, and they're a needle in a haystack to find. So there's opportunities out there. They're far and few in between. You really have to understand your numbers. And it's not good enough that if you looked at material costs last month, assuming that those material costs are the same a month from then or in 30 days, is bad planning. We're seeing costs rise across the board, and it fluctuates from month to month. Rental properties, you can still find rental property opportunities in there. Again, if you're financing the property, we need to look at what that payment is, what you can collect on rent. Rents are up as well. So you may be able to cover the difference on there, but you really want to talk and speak with some sort of advisor who is familiar with the industry. If you want to talk to someone in our office, we have that number scrolling along the bottom there, but we're happy to help you. All right. So, what do sellers need to know in this market, right? So, sellers, you can absolutely sell your house in this market, no problem. That first slide we showed that the average days on market for it to sell is about 30 days. Homes that are in tip top condition are selling within 24 hours, within 3 days, within a week's time. And those are those properties where you can tell it was truly loved, it was well cared for, has all the bells and whistles. You have no problem selling that property. In fact, in the highly desirable neighborhoods that are hard to get into, we're seeing that those properties are selling way over asking price. That's still going on in this market. So it's great to consider putting your home up for sale on the market. The downside to putting your home on the market is making sure that you have a plan in place of where you're going to move after you sell it. We talked about that early on. There's not a lot of inventory on the market. So, are you planning to rent your home, relocate out of town? If you're trying to move up in there, you have to be strategic about it. So when you're writing your contracts and you're putting your house on the market, we need to make sure that we're putting that kind of like contingency in there for any new buyer, that you need an extended amount of time to live in that property, potentially after the property closed. You may need 30, 60, 90 days even after it closed. That may require for you to pay rent. So you rent it back from the new owner, but this may be necessary to get you into that new place. Some of you are deciding to stay put, which is fine. You're just trying to figure out your way through the marketplace. But for many of you, you may find it that you need to move. I'm talking to folks, they're ready to downsize and they just want to make a move. That's fine. But it's important on your contracts that we write the contract in a way that secures you so you won't be homeless, for a short period of time. So we're happy to talk to you. All right, not sure what just happened there. Says I'm still live, so I'll continue on. Let me try sharing my slide again. Kind of finish on here. So my apologies for that. All right, so it's now a good time to buy and invest. We talked about that. We talked about sellers' needs and what you need to know in this market. Just wanted to cover a couple loan types. I started to talk about that FHA conventional, your FHA loan. Your FHA loan is going to be for first time home buyers. That minimum score is going to be a 580 in there. Minimum down payment is 3.5%. Max seller concession is 6%. A lot of people love that FHA loan, especially if you're a first time home buyer. It lets you into the marketplace at an affordable rate, lower credit score requirement on there. We're seeing those folks that are approved and can go conventional starting to go FHA because of all of these loans have special requirements and calculations for on the lenders on how they calculate your debt to income ratio. And so in certain cases, it may make sense to go FHA if you're trying to qualify for a little higher loan. Conventional minimum credit score is about a 680 on there. Minimum down between 5 and 20%. Max seller concession is 3% seller concession on there. So just a tip here, make your first move your best move. You want to consider buy smart on that first purchase. Something to consider here. I know that housing inventory is low, but consider purchase a multifamily property for your first property. 4 units or less is considered residential real estate. All of my young folks, you're in your 20s, you don't have all the baggage like I have all of the baggage. You want to consider purchasing a multifamily, especially when we're talking about markets like this where there could be a potential recession. This is how you recession proof yourself by purchasing multifamily homes. You live in one unit, you rent the other units out. The question is, well, I'm going to be a landlord. What if they don't pay? Well, the downside to them not paying is that okay, so you have to make that payment. It's better than you buying a home and always being required to make the monthly payment. Things do happen with renters, but you want to try to put yourself in the best position possible. And that's going to be by considering a multifamily home. I talk to my kids about this all the time. I have one daughter who's kind of somewhat in position to start buying. My son is not quite 18 yet. He will be soon. So, but these are the things that I'm telling the people, the young people, even in my circle, that we want to focus on this. Let's reduce some of that debt that you have. And if you could have a tenant in one unit paying that covering that mortgage expense for you on a monthly basis, it's a win-win for you. So that's all I have for you today. That is your market update. I'm going to make sure that I come back on here more often to provide and give you this information. It's a lot going on in the marketplace. And so if you have any questions, again, you can call that number that's scrolling down below. I'm here for you to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for joining me this afternoon, and I look forward to speaking with you next time.